And good morning again, everyone. It's Saturday, December the 6th. Tomorrow's the Toy Run 2025, 710 KNUS, Denver's talk station. The weather, it's going to hold the line. 46 the high today and 43 the high tomorrow. Our phone number is 303-696-1971, and we are jammed. And I spent the best couple hours with this guy. And you meet somebody that's a kindred spirit, and you think to yourself, wow, he's got the job. Jim Otto is with us, and he's with Big Iron Sports, Mile High Harley Davidson, Parker Harley Davidson, and he's been so kind to me and all of my friends, and we're going to salute Vinny Terranova in the 40 years of the Children's Hospital Toy Run. But I got to tell you something. Hey, Jim, thanks for yesterday. That was terrific, and welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. I had a great time with you.
Yeah, I really did. I mean, when you meet somebody that loves motorcycles or loves skiing or something, but then you're in the business and you ride yourself, it's got to be a gift for a job. It's got to be the best.
I love it. Makes my job easy when you're promoting something that you love as much as motorcycles.
How did you fall in love with motorcycles? Before we talk about Children's Hospital, and how do you explain it to someone that isn't or doesn't?
Well, I think I got tongue-tied with you when we were trying to talk about the passion that motorcycling brings to you. But I've got to say it was back in the 70s and watching Evel Knievel as a young kid and jumping my bike, building wooden ramps and jumps, just went from bicycles into motorcycles.
But you've worked for hundreds of people that I know. We cross over in about 20 different places.
Right.
And you end up where you ended up. And, of course, now you have Mile High Harley, you have Mile High Harley Parker, Grand Prix Motorsports on County Line, and then Foothills. Don't you have Foothills as well?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Wow.
We kind of have a ring around Denver with all kinds of different motorcycles.
Well, tomorrow, actually, my day, when I end up here, I'm going to go get quick something to eat, and I got to change, and I got a bunch of friends in town, and everybody's going to be riding, and we caught a break on the weather, did we not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm no meteorologist, but it's sunny today. I know I can get my bike out of the burbs. There's some shadows, so folks, when you're getting your bikes ready, just make sure you got a path out that's safe, and plan for the weather. I recommend some layers because I think I've left my house when it's 17 degrees, but then it's almost 50 and sunny. At 10 o'clock.
No, it's true. It's like I got all my leather laid out in the kitchen because I don't want it in the bike freezing. So put it on.
That's right.
make the run. But so tomorrow, Children's Hospital Toy Run. Take a second, if you would, Jim, and explain it.
Yeah, you bet. So the gates open, the ride starts down at the Aurora Sports Park, and it's about a 15-20-minute ride over to the hospital. We'll have police escorts. We'll have fire trucks. Come on down. The gates open at 8. The first wave leaves at 10 a.m. sharp. There will be burritos and coffee and music, and I know Monster Energy will be there, Eagle Rider, Children's Hospital volunteers. It's always a great time when you're hanging out for a couple hours with a bunch of other motorcyclists. It's like a big bike show.
And it started 40 years ago this Sunday, you guys were, I think there was 7 or 8 bikers took toys to Children's Hospital and Vinny Terranova. And actually I found one of the other guys, Mark Festel, and they've done it now for 40 years. I've done it for a whole bunch of years. It really does mark the beginning of the holidays after you get this one done, and you drop the toys off. And then tomorrow at 11, again, really much thanks to Jim and everybody. There's going to be a tribute to Vinny and those guys 40 years ago, and then there's a party going on. So it's going to be a good one. The weather's going to be right, and the pot's going to be right, and everything's going to be tight. So we're going to do it, and one more time we do it, correct?
Absolutely. Well, another 40 times after this, at least.
You bet. And again, you take unwrapped toys, because kids get to choose. Well, talk about the process, how it works. Once we drop the toys.
Yeah, so the ride is free. All you have to do is bring a unwrapped toy, If you go to milehigh-harley.com, we have a big banner on our website that'll take you to a page that really explains the entire thing, what kind of toys they're looking for. But once we ride into the hospital, you'll pull in. There'll be kids out. We can't, unfortunately, go in the hospital, but you have the opportunity to ride through the drop and go area if you don't have time, or you can pull to the right in the parking lot in the stop and drop area, and there'll be signage along the way. You can walk to the front of the hospital, drop your toys there. There are tons and tons of volunteers. I mean, we have the Aurora Police Department leading us. We have firefighters. We have hog chapters. We have all kinds of folks helping out, and tons of people from the hospital. You can walk to the front. As you said, 11 o'clock, there'll be a little ceremony thanking Vinny for starting this whole thing. We're super stoked that he's coming down. Then jump on your bikes, and from 11 to 2, Mile High Harley in Aurora, we'll have a big after party. We've got music and food trucks, and it'll be a great time.
There we go. And I'll see you tomorrow, but I just really publicly want to thank you and everybody, and Bill and everybody who has really, really reached out to Vinny and done this so right. So, again, Mile High Harley, and especially this man, to Jim Otto, thanks, brother, man. And I'll see you tomorrow at the beginning, at the start line, okay?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Be
Thanks
safe.
again, Peter.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, everybody. Back to open lines. We go to Jack in Wyoming. Hey, Jack, you're on the radio show. It's Saturday morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Pete. I couldn't agree with you more. We do need more critical thinkers in this country. There's no question about it. But that raises another question. Do you think Australia or maybe Liberia would take some of our Democrats off our hands?
Deport. You know, I'm reading this book called Reds, entitled Reds, A History of the Communist Party in America. It's very good. And, you know, they had the Palmer raids, and then they
Eugene Debs, yeah.
They deported people. And you know, they actually, many of them went into Soviet Union. Not many of them came back, if any.
Yeah.
They disappeared in Stalin's gulags, and that was Jack Reed and, you know, all the old CP-USAers.
Well, there's another thing that brings up was the Truman Doctrine states that we're going to fight communism wherever it's found. But unfortunately, it's looked at as foreign policy. It doesn't apply in this country.
Well, I was going to say Truman.
Think about that one.
What the Truman doctrine was, it was the Truman Doctrine to. It was the Truman corollary.
Help the other country.
Corollary, to the Monroe Doctrine. And
right.
And that's what Jack Kennedy applied to Khrushchev in Cuba. He applied he applied the Truman corollary, no communism in the New World.
In this hemisphere. Yeah, in the New World. Right.
So, but a lot of good that did. But long story short, I mean, the dope boats are really something to look at right now. The campaign against those alleged dope trafficking boats, and they're doing it both in the Pacific Ocean, and now they're doing it in the Caribbean as well. And
it's a legal issue, and I don't know who has the better argument. I've been looking at that too.
Well, they've been using drones, and they've been using, remotely piloted aircraft, and the Hellfires are called, Hellfire missiles, and they're. You know, the problem is, and I had a good conversation with a friend of mine also in recovery, and we talked about it. I said, you know, they'll find a way to bring the drugs here. They will find a way.
Yeah.
And oftentimes those people in those dope boats are offered one of two things, the gold or the lead. You want to pilot the boats in? If you don't, we'll kill your family. So the military's killed, by their count, I looked at it on the internet, 76 people in 19 strikes, 20 boats.
On this drug thing, yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, the topic that I launched this morning is, what are you afraid of in terms of the country? Brian, you're on the radio show. Thank you and good morning.
Hey, Pete. On a side note, 9 years ago, my life was headed in the wrong direction with alcohol, and I had a friend. I was at a men's meeting, and a friend grabbed me. And first time I felt like a little kid in a long time. My dad used to grab me and get a hold of me, and he said, you're worth more than that bottle. And I said, what bottle? He goes, the one you're running towards.
Yeah.
And it changed my lifelong friendship. I had young kids at the time. And I say all that because I'm giving to Step Denver this year.
Oh, man.
Results matter.
Yeah.
And somebody getting a hold of you and somebody telling you you're worth more than something means a lot. And that touched me today.
You also have to tell yourself that.
Right. And I could look at myself in the mirror every day, and I think of that man grabbing my hand and saying, you're not going anywhere.
That's powerful. That's very powerful.
It is.
Thank you.
And no, thank you, Pete, for what you do to get that message out.
Yeah.
And I've heard it before. I even heard Bob on the radio with you. And I'm giving to Step Denver for the first time this year, and I'm going to continue giving because results matter. And there's no other program that has that kind of results. So God bless that lady you had on today, and God bless you.
Oh, you're kind.
And Pete, we're heading towards catastrophe in the United States. I hate to say it. I love this country. I love what we stand for. I love what we do. But we're headed towards catastrophe because we don't have good leaders. And something bad's going to happen. And I just hate saying it. I got kids that are going to be adults soon. I don't know what to say. But my dad's a believer. My dad's a pastor. And he believes that we're headed in the wrong way. And there's only one thing that can change it. But I don't want to preach.
No, listen, I started.
I feel it in my bones, Pete.
I tell you, Wednesday I usually try and gin up a show. What do I want to do? And this has been haunting me, and I thought I'm going to bring it to the air. And the way I titled the question, I got it on my work paper, are you nervous or flat out scared? My choice of words for the future of the country, the future of America. And are you?
I am.
And if so, then what is it?
For the first time, I am.
Okay, what can you can you define the fear?
The government, and it's not just who's in power now. It's the government. After COVID, I just don't feel we're safe in the hands of the government anymore.
Are you afraid of your country, or are you just afraid of your government?
Government.
Yeah.
I'm not fearful of this country. There's so many wonderful people in this country, immigrants included. But this government, regardless of who's in power, is controlling this thing, always has and always will. And the founding fathers are the last best leaders we ever had.
Here's a loaded question. Do you think you know the people by name who are in charge of your children's future?
No. And nobody does, Pete. That's the problem.
All right.
Nobody does. Donald Trump's just a figure. Has he pulled the curtain back on a lot of things? Yes. And so I'm thankful for that. Do I like his style? Do I like his approach? No. I think he's funding the mafia? No. But he's pulled the curtain back. It's like a Wizard of Oz moment for the United States getting elected twice.
But if
it really is. But we'll still. But it's not the full curtain, Pete. It's not the full curtain.
I was going to say, if you pulled the curtain, who was manipulating the levers? I didn't see anybody. I'm with you. I've always had a sense of you're not really in charge, even though you may think you are. And maybe
after Jack Kennedy, that just exposed it for me. I had a wonderful social studies teacher in middle school that we did a JFK trial, and that was before the Oliver Stone movie.
Sure.
And we had a jury of students outside the classroom, and we did a trial. And I was on the side that it wasn't one bullet, it wasn't one shooter, and it was amazing.
Starts there.
But to see all the evidence, to see all the stuff surrounding that, made me everything.
Last question, then I'm going to jump. Our lines are jammed. Will America overcome? Is it the land of the free? Question mark.
No.
All right. Take care. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
You
Pete.
too. Good
Thank
call.
you.
We go to Palmer Lake. This is Peter. Hey, Peter, you're on the show. Good morning.
Morning, Pete. Great subject.
Thank you.
Great question on critical thinking. I think the problem is in order to truly critical think, you have to be introspective and realize that some of the beliefs you've held in the past are no longer correct, and
Or simply that.
you have to reevaluate things continuously.
Or simply that.
I know I've done it.
Yeah.
Well, I look at myself and how I was a total conservative and a Bush and Cheney fan up until the point where I was able to start reading about things and seeing the consequences of their decisions and how it really has affected not only America's role in the world, but the entire role of things. And then you take that a step further, and you realize that this has all been done by design.
Do you?
And
here's. I mean, I put all these kinds of addendums to my question. The reality is that, and this is a statement. You tell me you agree or disagree. The reality is that too many of us have forgotten what free actually means. Yes or no?
I don't think a lot of Americans care to be free anymore.
Oh, that's part of the answer.
I think that they're comfortable with being told what to do, and I think they're comfortable with being provided for to a certain extent.
What I wrote and what you're responding to, this was the line that I wrote. America must shift itself away, and these are statements, question marks. America must shift itself away from being a culture of believers and move towards being a culture of critical thinkers. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The problem with that is, are we as critical thinkers willing to, as Pontius Pilate said, what is truth?
Yeah.
Okay? The truth, if we find out about our country, is going to be ugly.
Ooh.
And it starts way back when we start talking about deep state. You can go to Woodrow Wilson.
Oh, sure.
Elitism, and you can go through the Kennedy's assassination, and you can go all the way up to COVID and what's occurring now.
Sure, of course.
The problem, I think, Pete, is people, unless it personally affects them, they don't care.
When do the chickens come home? As Malcolm X said after John Kennedy was murdered, the chickens have come home to roost, is what Malcolm said. This is a week. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're on the precipice of that. If not, our kids' lives or my children's lives are going to be dramatically different than mine.
Yeah.
And what are we worried about in this country, right?
Well,
we're worried about.
Final. I'm under a minute. What do you worry about now?
I worry for my kids, but I'm also optimistic. I think that there's been a great awakening to critical thinking. I think there's what we've been told. I think there's mistrust with the government, as there should be.
Of course.
And I think people are questioning things that need to be questioned. So there's optimism there. But we're in a quasi-civil war. We're in a quasi-world war. It just hasn't gone hot yet.
Thanks for the time. All right, everybody, there's one line open, 303-696-1971. I'm Peter Boyles at 710 KNUS. Stay here.
Your KNUS forecast for the Denver metro area calls for a little bit of light to moderate snow bands, some snow squalls this morning, then a few rain and snow showers this afternoon. Low to mid-40s for highs. Heavy snow and high winds in the high foothills and mountains west of town today on into tonight with some very difficult travel conditions. Temperatures tonight, low to mid-20s. Few snow showers for the metro area. Highs low 40s. Sunday, mostly dry. I'm meteorologist Mark Huer in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Kiss an Angel, good morning. Country Charlie Pride. There you go. A story about him and walking out on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry. The black man. Willie Nelson came out and stood next to him and put it over. Like Pee Wee Reese and Jackie Robinson. Big song. Morning, everyone. It is a Saturday. It's going to be 46 for a high today. Tomorrow, 43. It's the toy run tomorrow. We have, first time, 2 lines open, 303-696-1971. And again, pardon my voice. I'm getting over one, but I wrote this down as a question. It's really been a lot of response. Are you nervous or scared for the future of the country? Things are changing rapidly in this country. I mean, quicker and quicker and quicker, and people call it the quickening. In just the last month, it seems like we've kicked up a lot of dust to prevent the dust in the air. But I see many conservatives feeling great about the direction the country's in. Others do not. In my eyes, it seems like stability leads to success for the nation's economy, and things don't appear to be very stable right now. Do these things make you nervous? Do you fear the direction the country's going in, or gamble that indeed we may lose? If you're ever conflicted, and we spoke this morning with Megan from STEP, feel conflicted when someone on the street asks you for money, or you want to help, and there's a better way, of course, than making donations to STEP Denver. Do it right now. Do it for Colorado Gives Day, coloradogives.org/STEP Denver. Every day, men walk through the doors of STEP on Larimer Street right in front of Coors Field and make a commitment to sobriety, work, and accountability, recovery from the addiction, and rebuild their lives. I've watched miracles work. The stories are unbelievable. I've seen it firsthand. STEP Denver, a proven solution. I can tell you the men they serve are worthy of your support. Colorado Gives Day is December the 9th. STEP Denver is counting on people like you to invest in those men who are investing in themselves to make themselves become contributing members of our community. Because STEP doesn't take any money from the government, every dollar that you donate will be turned into $7 in terms of impact. And they don't take government money. Your support means everything. Don't wait. December 9th is pending, but you can make your tax-deductible donation today, coloradogives.org/STEP Denver. Again, coloradogives.org/Denver. Let's go here. We go to Jim. Hey, Jim, thanks for waiting. You're on the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
Sir.
Listen, quick question for you. I remember when you were doing the show in the mornings. Was it in November that you used to do the Step Denver? Because
Yes.
I used to always call in and do that. I'm like, hey, I used to. But you guys don't do it anymore. How come?
I think the fellows are having some guys on from STEP this week. I can't answer programming stuff because I don't know.
I used to always call. I used to call up and donate at that time when that. So I was like, wow, that's right. I didn't do it this year because you guys didn't have them. I was like, it was like my gift of the holidays is when you were on the radio during that. So I miss that.
Go ahead.
Well, anyway, I was going to say, my opinion is I think we're heading in the right direction. I'm not seeing the changes going on. Concerning the inflation, it's slowed down. I would say that's a real positive for our kids. That was just going crazy under the Biden administration. Really, real estate doubled during those 4 years. So I would say that it slowed down considerably for our kids. And I will just say this to you, Peter, concerning the situation concerning illegal drugs into America. My wife was a property owner in Denver, a manager in Denver. During the Biden administration, two of those 4 years, she had to walk in of people ODing dead in her rentals that she was managing for people. She has not had to do that thus far. It hasn't happened. I would say the drug issue has definitely gotten a lot better.
Well, actually, it's gotten. If you look at population, it's gotten infinitely worse. There are more people on the streets right now, and this mayor covers up. Well, look, when you take somebody and you give them a place to sleep, and you give them this and give them that and give them food and give them all, and let them shoot dope. You're killing people on the installment plan, and
That's why I don't give to those people anymore.
you shouldn't. You should never give to them. This mayor has tapped this city out and destroyed it by its policies that are handled towards drug addicts, junkies, whatever it is that you want to call it. And when Stephan and I and Mark Crowley went up to Vancouver and came back and said, this is a vision of hell. They implemented it. They want this. There's a congresswoman that is as an advocate. The mayor might as well be. So, no, I mean, drugs, again, it's that age-old lesson. And the dope boats are a better example of it. Do you favor or are you opposed to shooting up the dope boats?
Well, I think it's putting a Band-Aid. I think he's just Trump is more in the visualization. I don't think that changes at all. Almost all our drugs come up from Mexico.
Well, the drugs are going to get here.
It's coming from Mexico. So what he's doing is just basically trying to advertise. We're fighting. We're taking this seriously. Where the Biden administration. Look, I got this question for you. Boy, I've seen these people that are crying about this Venezuelan boats and about their deaths. Boy, none of those people ever cried or ever said anything about our children, American children, dying from drug overdoses.
But don't expect that. I mean, I've learned long ago not to expect criticism from some of those factions. They're just not going to critique. But the gunships that are shooting the boats, and the numbers that I have this morning, this is the latest, I think, numbers, if it holds up, but the United States military has taken this campaign against these illegal trafficking boats. And the number that they're giving right now, again, changing as you and I speak, I'll read this to you. Since early September, I'm reading it, the U.S. military has killed 76 people, 19 strikes, 20 boats. Yes or no?
Well, I mean, I'm all for that part. If they're carrying drugs to America, carrying death, then I'm all for them being shot out. Concerning shooting them a second time when they've already been knocked out, I'm not agreeing with that.
Trump says he didn't say it, and the admiral said he never gave the order. I don't know. He said, but the military has concentrated. They come out of Puerto Rico, and they have those MQ-9 drones, F-35s, AC-1 gunships. I mean, they're bringing smoke.
I agree. The one thing I actually did call you about, I wanted to talk to you about, it looks like the peace negotiations between Ukraine and Russia are falling through now. It looks like Putin feels that he's on the upper end, I'm kind of at an impasse, the Rubicon with Trump on this, because I'm not certain he helped the negotiations now between Russia and Ukraine, because he was like, I'm going to cut off aid. Well, we all know if America's not involved, then Ukraine falls. And that's my unfortunate thing, is I think he put a pause concerning America's involvement, which prevented, Trump taking it seriously.
America's involvement under Joe Biden got that off the ground in the first place.
I agree with you on that. And I do agree with you on that.
We fuddle around in the world, and all it's ever brought is pain and hardship. And we're marking December the 7th tomorrow, Pearl Harbor Day. That's a whole other different set of historical rules than the insanity that we've all grown up and lived in. But now you're looking at this, and again, are you nervous? Here's my question, and then we're going to jump to you. Are you nervous or flat out scared for the future of the country?
Less so than under the Biden administration.
No. Don't qualify it. Just tell me yes or no.
Okay, yet to be determined. I'm not at that point of thinking that the ceiling's falling in.
So you're not.
Concerns.
You're not.
No, not so much. I would just say this: that our kids graduating from universities are having a much harder time finding jobs than we did.
I brought some data, the data in from the young people. Oh my heavens! I mean, you read their data, national poll, 18 to 29-year-olds. I'll read it. The headline: nearly 2/3 of young Americans fearful about future of democracy in America. They're talking about what 50-year mortgages now on young people's homes. That's a life sentence.
You know, Peter, that's one thing. Why are we letting investment firms acquire buying blocks of homes? Why is that not illegal?
Well,
you've heard of them taking them and just buying the whole neighborhood.
Yes,
that should be illegal. And why is none? And then none of our politicians.
Well, you remember when
when
Tennessee Ernie Ford sang 16 Tons, he had a line in that song that said, "I owe my soul to the company store." And I don't know if you knew how those coal miners in West Virginia, they worked. They worked, and then they took their script, and it was phony. It was phony money, and they took their script to the company store and bought goods and paid their rent with their work, and there was no money that ever touched the ground. It was company money, and it was called. And so when Tennessee Ernie said, "I owe my soul to the company store," he owed the company, the coal mine. All right, thanks. So we're going to jump. Here we go again. This is Don in Lakewood. First time there's two lines open, 303-696-1971. Hey, Don, you're on the radio show.
Hey, Peter, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, real quick one. I had a commercial rental property that I rented out for a few years. I went to sell it. Well, the people that went to buy it, unbeknownst to me, they wanted to do an inspection, which is fine, but they had it checked for meth.
Yep.
It was contaminated, and then I got a letter from Jefferson County saying I got X amount of days to do this or that, or pay this, and they're going to bulldoze it. After all the crap I went through with the people doing the inspection and then the people coming in for the abatement, cost me $36,000.
Woo! Wow.
You talk about a racket, and here's the best one. There is no standards set on what's healthy and what's not in a building.
Wow. You
talk about a racket, brother. I'm telling you. I learned the hard way about 3 years ago.
So what's your way out?
I paid people to do it.
Sure.
I sold the property, and it cost me $36,000 to do it. I mean, off the bottom line, I had the property about 6 years. I bought it to turn it in a short period of time to make a quick buck. Well, good part of that went out the door.
Yeah, caught you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bounce this off you because I was bringing in bits and pieces for the show. I didn't realize this until my reading on Thursday. July the 4th, 2026. That's just next year. That's our 250th anniversary. I mean, and 250 years is a pretty great run for any nation. Completely collapse, some people think, a few months short of the date, or maybe we linger on in decay and turmoil. But I didn't realize that next year, the 4th of July, 2026, getting to 250 years. Is there anything with that?
This stuff changes so quick every day, and if you had a honest media, we wouldn't be in a lot of position we're in.
The media aside, tell me this 250 years. Now what?
Well, I wish I had kind of an idea.
Yeah.
I'm an old guy like you, and I just look back. We're never going back. You forget about that. And what they've done for a long time, and you can go all the way back to Woodrow Wilson and probably before. I mean, hope for your kids. Your kids are going to know the world they live in today, not the world that we live in.
Of course. All right, so having said that, come back to this. Is the future bright, or is the future dim, or is the future dark?
As it stands right now, unless we make some changes in what they're allowed to put out with their lies, I think the future is dark.
Where does it end?
From what you and I grew up in.
Wow. Thank you for your time. All right, everybody, 303-696-1971. I didn't realize this until Thursday, which July the 4th, 2026 is just next year. Getting to a 250th anniversary is a pretty great run for any nation, you would think, but is it? So maybe what? 710 KNUS Denver's Talk Station, 303-696-1971. Please stay here. Phone line's open. 303-696-1971. Open lines until Saturday, the 6th of December, 2025. Tomorrow's a toy run. 46 the high today and 43 on Sunday. Got the big boy voice. Boy, thankfully, I caught this cold like last Sunday. And thankfully it isn't this Sunday because I can ride in this, just can't ride in that. Morning, everybody. We are talking about the future of the country. And the jacket, the headline that I wrote on the worksheet is, are you nervous or scared for the future in America? And things are changing rapidly in our country. And it seems like things, well, just what has happened. And coming up, July the 4th, 2026, is just next year. 250 years, what is it you are afraid of? Danny Kaplis' law firm. Dan is my friend. I suggest that you choose a lawyer who shares your values, and because who you choose to represent you in an injury case says so much about you and everyone involved in the case. Dan's believed to be the only attorney in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado history. Danny's my friend. Now they're law partners with the Nuggets and the Avalanche. And Dan is, he's just that right man, and he's a decent man, a decent, great firm, serious firm for serious cases. They accept the righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard and ability to pay. So you need Dan's help. If you do, 303-770-5551, 303-770-5551, or hit dankaplislaw.com. It's CAPLISlaw.com. Kaplis Law today. We go to the phones. We go to Frank. Hey, Frank in Denver, you're on the radio show. Good morning. Thank you.
Pete, you keep posing these tough questions.
Yeah, no. To myself, too.
Well, I'm glad you're a thinker. I wish you'd come up with more solid answers. But we all need to do that. And yeah. I think I'm going to give you the lawyer's answer, although I'm not a lawyer. And the answer to your question is it depends. And I go back to when I was a kid and I was a Boy Scout. And that one big thing I learned from the Boy Scouts is be prepared. And so I think you do the best you can for as many situations as you can. Prepare in all the ways you can to fortify yourself, to make yourself strong.
But let me ask you a question. If you see these studies that say people have enough money for X or enough of this for
and then
Y,
they get sick.
Yeah. And then
they die.
And is that what's going to happen?
Who knows? Who knows? Nobody has any guarantee of anything.
No, I understand that, but predictions are really...
And, I think you bring up a lot of interesting questions, but sometimes you tend to lean a little bit on the what if. I know that titillates people's excitement out there to call in, but that other one thing you always talk about is all empires fail. And I think if you look historically, that's true. My question then is, why do they fail?
They all fail for exactly the same reasons.
But what's that?
Well, first of all, I would urge you to do some, and please, I hate...
I'm not a history person.
Okay, there was a great historian by the name of Gibbon, and Gibbon wrote The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire.
Roman Empire, yeah.
And you know what? Every empire, including what we just witnessed, the Soviets and others, they implode as opposed to explode. And the Roman Empire imploded. And by the time the Vandals and the Goths and the Visigoths and they got there, it was over.
Well, what I understand about the Roman Empire was that one of the main reasons it folded, and not that it's the only reason, but that it kept expanding beyond its potential to control.
It did many things, but all of them were pretty much like what. Do you think that this isn't an empire?
Oh, yeah, we're trying to do too much, and we got to rein it in, and I think you're absolutely right. But Trump has jerked the veil back off and exposed a lot of these ideological ideas that people have not had, American politicians and people have not had the spine to confront and say, we can't take on the whole world. We can't solve all the problems. We can export our ideas of freedom and do some help, but we can't solve, and we certainly can't solve it by bringing so many people in.
Again, if you think it through, why do empires always fail? And why did people that began the empires understand that they would not last forever? And that's the other part of Gibbon, is that the Roman Empire lasted for, I think, 1,000 years. And it's not that the empires themselves imploded. And so we have this situation now. Next year is 250 years. We are in the classic Roman Empire lasted maybe 500 of 1,000, but 1,000 is what they're granted. And I'm kind of a geek about reading Gibbon. But the empire lasts, and between these decisions, and of course one of them, and we've talked about it many times, Julius Caesar, was proclaiming himself a god, and he was becoming a dictator, and that jump across that happens.
But again, I go back to this airline principle that I love, and the reason we have so many millions of airline miles flown with so few accidents is because they analyze every accident. So if you analyzed every empire that failed, and if the answer is that they grew too big or grew too fast, a lot of different reasons, control that. Because if you don't, it's going to be the old principle of entropy. Any system that's
no, they do. They fail from inside.
If you don't have energy put into the system, it's going to run down.
But there's all these other variables that go with Gibbon, the instability of all of it, and the corruption of all of it, and the loss.
Well, my observation is that no leader has ever controlled the entire world. They try, but they all fail.
Well,
so
but that's the other point of it is
their aspirations are too big.
Of course.
And so you raise all these things. I think people have to have a hope, and I have hope. I am a Christian, and I understand you have your individual religious beliefs or whatever they are, and that's fine. But everybody has to have some hope. And, nobody knows the absolute truth until you shut your eyes for the final time.
Let me bounce the question off you. Are you nervous and or flat out scared for the future of this country?
I'm not nervous. I'm concerned because I don't see the people and the politicians doing things. Again, Trump has raised some issues. People are responding. I'm encouraged by the number of young people that have incredible talents and a revitalization of some degree of patriotism amongst our young men and women. And so I have hope for the country. I never like to give up hope. What's the future in that? So I am more positive outlook, always have been. But certainly there's many things to be concerned about, from electronic, AI.
No, look, the variables of history don't change. They really don't. The names may be changed to protect the innocent, but the model changes? No. The model stays the same. And if you look at failure, decline of empires or failure of countries, they have risen and fallen throughout history.
I read it, Will, and
the factors.
Durant.
Listen to me, please. The factors leading to their declines are complex, but the key factors stay the same.
You're right. The lessons of history, Will and Ariel Durant. And
that's one.
Many democracies, they've all come to a point and imploded and followed by a benevolent dictator.
So give me you. What happens here?
Give me me. I never give up. I will never give up till I take my last breath. And I hope that more Americans will follow that path. I do see encouragement. I never say we're defeated.
So a socialist mayor was.
He's just a challenge. He's just another challenge.
Okay.
It'll be revealed. He'll either be successful or he'll fail. I think he's going to fail, but he'll run into real world problems.
I'll tell you what, that guy that's a huge indicator. That's a huge moment. I have to pause. I love the calls, Frank. On the day that I said this last week, on the day that Dick Cheney dies, we see this man become mayor. Socialist Ugandan Muslim becomes the mayor of the seat of capitalism, Wall Street. Your calls right after this, 303-696-1971.